Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to do a follow-up to a video I did a couple of days ago talking about Super Sentai and the rumor that Super Sentai was dead. And technically, Super Sentai is dead. It's going to be rebranded as Universe Heroes. And this is likely to get around the Power Rangers contract, which is exactly...
Wasn't that what you said in the last video?
Exactly what I said. It was in the last video. It was weird because, you know, it just goes to show that people don't actually watch the videos. They look at the thumbnail, they look at the title, they decide what the video's about, and then they leave a nasty comment within 30 seconds of you posting the video, so they clearly did not have time to watch it. But no, that's what the previous video was about. I talked about that. I said it's very likely... people are saying they're going to rebrand to try to skirt the Power Rangers deal because Toei wants to bring Super Sentai to the US because Hasbro has basically washed their hands of the Sentai footage, and they're trying to do their own stuff, and it's awful. Their own Power Rangers is absolutely terrible. The designs are terrible. I mean, what is this shit? This doesn't even...
Oh, no.
It's really bad.
It's like Battlestar Galactica meets
oh, God,
Power Rangers.
It looks like Temu Power Rangers. You know, it's, yeah. So anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
And woohoos all around, guys. We have less than a day on Geeky Sparkles Christmas pin party. Almost 11,000. And we have unlocked the Geeky Sparkles pins. So we're going to be making pins of Geeky. I don't think I'm going to be joining you this time.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay. Yeah, we had another pin design for me as a snowman, but we had to hit 15. I don't think we're going to do that. But that is okay, guys. We really appreciate the support, and we know the economy is kind of balls right now.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. So here's what's actually going on. As I understand it, and I'm going to get geeky caught up here.
Okay,
Toei
please
wants...
do. I don't know what's going on, so...
Okay, so Toei wants to bring its stuff to other countries themselves. They want to set up studios in other countries, and
that's
basically
smart, I guess.
It is smart, especially with all the problems they've had with translations and
understandable.
But they want to set up production studios in other countries, China and South America, all that. And the word was
so the places where they're getting knocked off.
Yeah, pretty well. That's what, look, guys, you want to know why they've got two Disney parks in China? They've got Hong Kong Disney and they've got Shanghai Disney. And the reason they have those parks over there mostly was to keep them from knocking off their IP, because there were knockoff Disney parks in China.
Well, they were then basically it's harder to knock off if you're there, but
right.
That's not the reason they talk about, but that's definitely one of the reasons.
Yeah. Now, in this case, I think it's like they're looking at Japan and they're like, wow, there's a massive global audience for anime and manga and live action productions. So let's spread out a little bit and do more.
There's a new Dragon Ball coming.
New Dragon Ball coming again. I don't know why we need another.
I don't know either.
Another Dragon Ball, but just leave it rest, please. But yeah, some people are going to be all about it. So the issue is that I guess it's been like 2 or 3 years. Hasbro said they were not going to use the Super Sentai footage, and they said the toy sales for Super Sentai are down, probably because until Hasbro bought Power Rangers, they were just letting Bandai make the toys. So it was kind of kill two birds. It was for decades they had released the show in Japan, the Sentai version, then they would do the Power Rangers version, then they'd bring the same toys over here.
And it was a recipe that worked.
It worked. And then Hasbro got greedy. They decided they were going to buy the Power Rangers. They were going to make the toys. And they have massively, massively mismanaged the franchise, in my opinion. Some people are probably like, Hasbro's great, guys. No, I think it's dog shit compared to the Power Rangers version. And even that is lesser than the Sentai version, much, much lesser than. So Toei being smart is probably like, hey, we got these shows. We want to get them into the West, but and I speculated this in the last video, there's got to be something up with the Power Ranger contract that they were not allowed to compete against Hasbro, likely. So they're like, okay, fine, we'll just change the name of the show.
That apparently is what they're doing. So
that's apparently what they're doing. So they're like, oh yeah, we're going to end that version of it. We're going to call it something else. I mean, it's not like Hasbro can say, hey, you can't ever have a Toku show of any kind. So this has come from Bounding in the Comics. Super Sentai is not dead. Instead, rebranding as Universe Heroes. and it's likely due to the original Power Rangers.
It's
contract.
funny to me. So Hasbro tries to make their own show, and it's clearly like the Temu version of the other show. But so Hasbro's gotten to the place now where they have to change the name because they're gonna lock them out of the U.S. for their own show because they're just trying to do a poor knockoff version. I mean, they own the right to do it, but theirs is a poor knockoff version.
I just don't understand when you've got stuff like this, like these, I'm saying, these amazing costumes, they translate very well into toys, and you're like, no, let's do the blandest shit possible and make sure it's as diverse and inclusive as possible. I was going to say,
is there no white women? Okay, good.
No, but we made sure
there's one white person. Is it one white woman?
We have a non-binary ranger, if I remember correctly. That was a whole.
Is that the one? Which one's that? The red one?
I don't remember. I think we had a gay ranger and a non-binary ranger. It was like, oh my God, guys, seriously.
Was the gay ranger? I don't see a rainbow ranger.
With the Rainbow Ranger. Oh my God, that's what they need to do. They need to do.
I mean, those look more like Rainbow Ranger. Like red one looks like more like a Rainbow Ranger than the rest of them.
Mighty Mouthin Rainbow Rangers.
No, I don't think you don't need the mouth.
That could be taken different ways. But look at these are great. Like Toei has. So for years, for decades, they've made very toyetic designs for Power Rangers because they're thinking about the toys. They're always thinking about the toys. Like, do these make cool figures? Are the robots cool? Are people going to buy the Zords? And that's what it worked. And then they bring them to the U.S. And then, now it's like they kind of lost, a huge part of their audience.
Hasbro doesn't care if it looks toyetic. They're just, I don't know what the heck that was.
They're not even making the toys now. They're letting Playmates make them, and they're not even making toys based on the new shows. They're like, hey, let's go back to Mighty Morphin that no 8-year-old kid is going to care about.
No, but they figure collectors might sell them or might buy them. And the thing is, they're letting other people make the toys. At least then they're going to probably be made better. Because if Hasbro's making them, they'd be ass.
Well, and they would be overpriced. Actually, the Playmates toys, the $10 figures, I bought one just to see what they were like. They're not bad. For $10, they're not bad.
Well, yeah, because you compare like the ones they make, other Playmates make, compared to like we've done it before with like what was it, Ninja Turtles and stuff?
Yeah, we did the $10 Ninja Turtle figure versus a $10 Star Wars toy.
Yeah, and the Star Wars toy was crap.
Yeah.
Compared to the Ninja Turtle. And it's like the Transformers. They make these for kids to play with, and the plastic is so thin, it feels like the knockoff ones from several years ago.
Yes.
Where they'd have these like really thin plastic because Hasbro was cutting every corner possible to try to make more money. So I'd rather they hand it over to Playmates or other people who are going to give you decent toys that are going to hold up.
Yeah, and that's a whole issue. I mean, Hasbro basically just wants to print money at this point, and eventually they'll get out of the whole toy business completely.
Transformers just puncture wounds waiting to happen.
Puncture wounds waiting to happen. Anyway, it says, previously reported, word of Super Sentai's ending was first broken on October 30th, courtesy of Japanese news outlet Oricon News. But rather than any details as to the why behind it, their full story, as machine translated by Deep L, consisted of only 2 sentences, one announcing the information and the other providing a very brief recap of the franchise history. So basically, it's going to end with the 50th anniversary. They said it was bombastic. The news was met with equal parts shock and skepticism, particularly as the news came not from the franchise's longtime production house, Toei, or the home network of TV, Asahi. And while both entities have yet to offer any official word, Toei's Thailand television broadcasting partner, Cartoon Club, now confirms that while the series is ending, it will also continue under a new brand name. This is what everybody thought was going to happen. They're like, no, they're going to rename it.
That's what you said, yeah.
Yep, and it's probably to get around the Power Rangers issue. So it is, the video title was correct. Super Sentai is ending, and it's because of Power Rangers.
Right. And then you said, but it's likely going to be called something different to get around the issue. And that's exactly what happened.
That's exactly
if you actually listen to the video,
they never listen to the video. Even though Super Sentai has come to an end after a 50-year run, the admin confirms that Cartoon Club will gradually bring back past generations of Super Sentai. Okay, stay tuned. There's still many teams left to come. And for Toei's new project, Universe Heroes, the admin says it's going to be a big surprise for sure. So they're just going to rebrand it as something else.
So they're gonna have to, but they're gonna bring back old ones. How are they gonna get around that? Because they're not making toys of the old ones. They don't own the rights to the old ones.
I don't know the specifics. That's the thing.
It was the basic question. I wasn't expecting you to know the answers to it. I'm just saying, it's gonna be interesting to see how they do this, because I'm assuming it's a very complicated issue.
Yeah, the Power Rangers contract is very complicated. But the thing is, and people were mad because they're like, look, Shout Factory has been bringing Sentai to the U.S., and now that people can see the original, they're like, oh, hey, yeah, the Power Rangers version was kind of ass, wasn't it, compared to the original? Like, the original is so much better. And people are loving it. And then it's like, well, it shouldn't be Hasbro. Hasbro shouldn't have the right to end Power Rangers, right? Or end Sentai here in the U.S. So, but they said the series Henshin, should the series Henshin into a brand new form, it may suggest that Toei is looking to avoid any Power Rangers related legal complications that could stand in the way of a potential Super Sentai rollout to American audiences. So it might be that maybe they're not allowed to use any Super Sentai anything, but Universe Heroes they could. So
that's what I'm saying, though. But if they're saying they're going to bring past things back, I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work, because if they're not allowed to bring, Super Sentai out, because of it, they can't call it that. Then I'm like also going to wonder if, because Hasbro has the rights to use it, if they were making some of the older toys and stuff, do they also have the rights to those character versions? And my next comment is, how are they going to manage that if they want to bring old stuff back? I don't know how they're going to, that's going to be a tricky issue. That's what I was trying to say.
They're not going to be able to, because it says, per the official licensing contract, signed in 92, the current Power Rangers owner, whether Saban, Disney, or Hasbro, holds the sole and exclusive rights to distribute, exhibit, lease, license, market, sell, publicize, advertise, promote, perform, and exploit, not specifically Super Sentai, but all episodes of Kaku Rangers. Now, Kaku Ranger was actually the Ninja Power Ranger team, the third season. But I'm guessing that any show that Saban or Disney or whoever brought over here, that you couldn't do an end run around that, right? It was like they already did the Western version.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like,
Macross.
If you're making something brand new, okay, but they were hinting at bringing some old stuff back. By the way, there's Rainbow Ranger right there.
There he is, right there. I was just gonna say that. There he is.
But I'm just like, that's why I'm wondering what they're going to do, because they're alluding to bringing back past stuff. I'm trying to figure out how they're thinking they're going to get around that, because that clear, if you have to rename the entire thing and do something, even though it's clearly the same thing, but you're renaming it just to get around that, I don't know how they're going to get around old versions that might already be tied up with licensing.
Well, that's the thing. Hasbro's not going to allow it, I don't think, because it says Hasbro currently has the final say, even over Toei themselves, on whether or not the original Super Sentai source material is allowed to be distributed in the U.S. Now, they've had them on DVD and they've had them on, for collectors on Shout Factory, but it's not like they're broadcasting Super Sentai on, Disney Channel.
No, but they'll be dicks about it just to block them, because they'll be afraid they're going to take some of their market share. Honestly, you'd rather them just do it themselves and call it something different, because if Hasbro makes them, they're going to be ass. But,
Yeah, they said this is probably a loophole. 25 of the 50 seasons were brought out in the U.S., but this reminds me, it's very complicated. It reminds me of the Robotech Macross situation, where I think contracts were probably signed early on. We didn't know how popular things were going to be, but it does tie up the westernized version of it. You don't want to compete against yourself either, right? Right,
but they're probably thinking themselves 50 years ago it was never going to be around 50 years. You know what I mean? So Power Rangers is 50 years, and Hello Kitty was 50 years last year. So there's a lot of really good things that have made it 50 years.
That is true. As long as you don't mess with the formula, usually you can last for a while. But it's just like, this is the ass. I'm sorry. I think Hasbro is afraid to let them bring Sentai over here, because people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, wow. Like, we thought American Power Rangers...
Yeah, not a wow and a good wow.
It's going to be...
more of like a wow.
What utter dog shit compared to what we could have had. And I think that's probably what's going on. But yeah, so it's going to continue. I mean, seriously, I've wondered that too. I'm like, well, what... they didn't sign a contract saying they couldn't do any more Toku hero shows. They just said, hey, we can't do Super Sentai. So just change the name. There you go. Easy peasy. So we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.